record.
Okay, there we go.
So welcome to this. So this was originally recorded for helping people understand your patient's inner way of the way they perceive their world. My sister is the one who did this original training. She's written 3 books on human psychology and behavior. She's a real true expert. And she happens to be a chiropractor, and she's treated a lot of patients with body contouring as well. So she's dissected through our help using our paradigms, and she's going to be delivering to you exactly how to do lectures, how to do presentations, how to do public speaking in a way that is deeply impactful, where you have everyone, a very high percentage of your audience is going to convert. So this is real specialized kind of knowledge that will help you convert, influence, and impact your audience in a very meaningful way. So it's exciting when, we're in the business of helping people. So you're helping people get out of their own way to take positive action to help themselves. So I want you to not only listen carefully and absorb it, but afterwards to even think about it, process it, and then we're going to go over it again. This is just one tool for you to speak to do presentations, speak to groups of people. You can take these principles and these strategies and even offer it on a one-on-one basis as well. I predict you will really have tremendous success with these strategies. You're learning secrets and tips and techniques that often takes years and years and years to learn. So we're going to just shrink all that time now. I'm going to hand deliver to you. This is just one in a series of sessions and back office modules that that is part of our body contouring and slimming technology back office, where we're going through I'm interviewing all these gurus or people who are expert in this specific field, and they're sharing their $1 million a year practice secrets, hand delivering it. So what does that do? It just saves you so much time and effort and money and error. Do this, don't do that. It's like having true bona fide medical experts whispering in your ear what to do and what not to do. So I can't tell you how proud of and pleased I am with the kinds of results you're going to get with this, guys. So with no further ado, we're going to review this, and I'll stop appropriately. So just soak it all up. So now, originally, when she did this is already a few years old, but when she did this was just on a body contouring, just using the fat loss section only. This didn't exist before, guys. The idea of helping people shrink fat on their bodies it was new technology. Patients didn't have that. Physicians didn't know you can do this kind of thing. Now, of course, the same thing is happening right now. So as the cool sculptings are already well established in the marketplace, right? You can shrink the fat. I don't happen to believe in that technology because you're destroying the fat cell versus we had this conversation in the past where you're able to permanently shrink the fat without damaging the body of the cool sculpting of a radio frequency or of a high intensity ultrasound where you're destroying the fats. This is just a lot safer, easier, and actually, besides the fat loss component, the lipolysis component, you're actually able to do all these other off-target effects like stimulating the mitochondria, increasing your patient's energy, shutting off the inflammation in the body, increasing angiogenesis, helping the patient actually even come into homeostasis, stimulating the body's ability to heal itself. This is what this is. The lipo light is what we're referring it to, because that's going to be one component. But now we're also adding the muscle building component, which is, so the same paradigm is repeating itself in history. All of our early adopters are experiencing just tremendous success because it's just so unique in the marketplace, and patients had never experienced this before. So now you're able to shrink the fat cells, now build muscle at the same time simultaneously. So just listen carefully and you'll get a sense of how expert this information really is. There we go.
Diane and Brent.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Not yet, Dr. Mike.
Okay, here we go. Is it Jackie Gleason saying away? Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see the full screen? Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am coming to you from a studio in Delray Beach, Florida, where I'm now visiting my parents for the next several days. And the presentation that we will be presenting today is strategies to improve your patient conversion sales by using LipoLite. And at the end of this program, and only if you stay to the end, we've updated those PDFs. If you've received them first, we've updated them and improved and included more information with important scripts and articles that I'll be discussing throughout this program so that you can implement it into your practice and into your presentations. So with a little bit about myself, I'm a chiropractor for 27 years. It's going to be almost 28 years in Queens, New York. I've recently written 3 books on understanding human behavior, and the one that I'll be applying to today is the one for sales and marketing. So doctors, I want you to know that I have and presently in your shoes. I know what you've been through and are going through. So this comes from the heart and from the soul. And just a shout out to those doctors who had previously purchased the books. The website is now up and functioning properly, so you could purchase them through the website. And here's the book, The Secrets of Personality Blueprinting for Sales and Marketing, Secrets to Understanding Human Behavior. And here's the website at personalityblueprinting.com. Right. So let me just explain to you, doctors, what I'll be going through in the next hour. I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts to increase your conversion sales. I'm going to explain to you what you need to incorporate into your presentation to be profitable with LipoLite. And the first being our hardwired desires. These 8 biologically hardwired desires that everyone needs addressed. And they're what we make our decisions. We base our decisions upon these hardwired desires. And 3 ways to effectively obliterate your patient's objections about purchasing LipoLite.
Or hair
Grab their
transplants.
attention in the first few seconds of your presentation. And what is so critical to holding their attention throughout the entire time without resisting you. I'll next be discussing what you need to accomplish to transition to your offer, and then 3 ways to effectively transition to the offer and then go from the offer to that final call where you're then calling them up to sign up for LipoLite. So without further ado, let's proceed into our presentation. So why LipoLite? You know, doctors, it's important that you don't miss any of these reasons, that you can give your patients and that they can get the full value of what you have to offer. And why are you including Lipolite into your practice now? After all these years, you're a chiropractor and now you're a weight loss doctor. So why are you using Lipolite? Because it provides tremendous value to people. You see, Lipolite is a non-invasive alternative to liposuction. And people in general want to lose weight. They want to look and feel their best. Weight loss is also a $75 billion a year industry. And you see, it's not enough to lose weight. As most people know, as most women know, it's not enough to lose weight. A woman can lose 10 pounds, but they're not always losing it in the areas that they want to, those hard to get contoured areas. And that makes a difference in how they feel about themselves. So your patients are already in your office. They have a connection with you. So you have the ability to provide them with value far better than someone who markets them with a TV ad or a sales letter. And you've already, because you have that emotional connection with them, they're already more likely to convert to using Lipolite. 2, you're going to help them achieve their goals. Most people, when every January 1st is where it's soon approaching, weight loss is on their list of to-dos for the year, their annual resolutions. And you can make them feel better about themselves and help them achieve those goals. 3rd, it's the law of reciprocity. Now, the law, when we do good things for other people, they feel compelled to do things for us. It's incredibly powerful law, and it's hardwired into us. I mean, as chiropractors, I know that we've done things, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, how we go out of our way for patients and the things that we, the services that no other medical profession can. So we're going to help them reach their goal. We're going to take the time to explain to them their progress, and as a result, the law of karma will come back to you, and you'll be making a difference in their lives. And as a result, that they'll feel like they need to reciprocate and either send patients to you or refer people or tell other people about what it is that the services that you're providing. You see, it's not enough. Okay. It's not enough to sell your services by using Lipolite. You want to improve someone's condition for the long term, not the short term. And if you embrace these values and express them to your patients, doctors, I'll tell you this and I'll make this promise, but money will never be an issue for you. You think of your patients, you think long term, you do the right thing, and you'll never have to worry about money. And you'll have an incredibly high conversion rate. Your patients will become your ambassadors to help their friends and family reach their goals too. So the good thing about this is that you already established yourself as the expert and a figure of authority. You're simply
Dr. Mike, we lost the audio.
You couldn't hear the volume when I had come in?
Right.
helps itself.
Now it's back.
Shrinking the cells and allowing the body to do its own thing. It's
Thank
not
you.
invasive. There's no surgical procedures. So those are the main reasons why you're using Lipolite. These are the reasons why you've introduced it into your practice. And it'll allow you to make an impact in others in a very favorable way. And
I just wanted to mention, if you notice, she said, you're not only sharing this information, but you're expressing it to them as well. So those components that she just said is you're telling them these reasons. This is why I do this, because I really do want to give value. I feel this is the very best. I do believe that when I help people, that it comes back to me. I am a true expert and authority on this.
and it'll give a big bang for your business.
I do seek to have long-term results for you.
Michael, I'm hearing music. Okay.
Please mute your phone, please. Whoever has that music, please turn it off.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so doctors, you want the sales? Absolutely, the sales are at the core of what we do. But again, I just want to emphasize how we don't want to think short term about making $1 million next month, but you're going to make multitudes of that and much more by thinking long term with LipoLite. Now let's move on to discussing the foundation of your success. There are 3 requirements that you'll need with LipoLite. The first is to realize that we're biologically wired the same way. I may have a person or 2 in my family that I don't think so. They may be a little way out there. But other than that, we all have the same biological needs, which you must appeal to when you're discussing LipoLite. And if you communicate only in terms of content, you know, I know sometimes I can have a very analytical mind, then we're going to appeal only to a very small scale of their brain. We want to be much more successful by appealing to those hardwired biological needs. So you need to understand what they are. The first biological need is a need for life. We all want to enjoy life. We have a need for survival. It's hardwired into us. And if you miss this, you're going to appeal to a tiny sliver of that patient. Secondly, we all desire food and beverages. It's not even a desire, it's a requirement. So you need to address that, particularly when you're dealing with weight loss. You know, what type of food, what are the beverages that they can eat? We need to be out of danger. We all require companionship. We're all hardwired to feel superior to others. We need shelter. We need a place we can call home, a place that protects us. We have an internal desire to care and protect our loved ones. And we're also hardwired to seek social approval. So let's talk about these needs for a minute. And it's important that you understand them, and it's important that you build these 8 aspects into your presentation. So this is overall what the patient is thinking. The patient wants to lose weight to seek social approval. And when they look better, they'll feel better, and that will allow them to attract a different mate, or that different mate could provide them with a better socioeconomic security. So they'll be safe, they're out of danger, and they'll enjoy life. So keep your focus on the deeper internal needs, doctors. And I know this sounds simplistic, but psychologically, you and I and your patients, we all make our decisions based upon these 8 biological needs. Not about facts, not about technicalities, but about these 8 needs. An enjoyable life, food and beverage, being out of danger, companionship, feeling superior to others, shelter to protect us, to care and protect our loved ones, and to seek social approval. The second requirement, to obliterate objections, especially the top 4 objections that you will commonly hear when discussing LipoLite with your patients. And what I want you to do, and I'm sure that you have regular meetings with your staff, ask them. I want them to all cooperate and to compile a list of objections. Could be 12, could be 20 objections. And then collectively, you will create solutions to them. But there are, Michael, I'm just hearing some other noise. It could be.
Please mute your phone or remove any extraneous noise, please.
This is an important aspect, doctors. Obliterating objections. No salesperson, where you're trying to persuade people, you need to overcome these objections. Now, an objection could be, well, been big, so I'm just going to be just that. Or a patient could say, well, genetically, I can't lose weight because that's the way I'm built. Another objection a patient may have is, I can't afford it right now. See, this isn't about selling. You have to realize that anytime you're persuading someone, you need to learn how to deal with these objections successfully. Not to deal with them would be a major downfall on your part. So again, list all your objections, and there's two ways that we're going to deal with them. We can deal with that objection directly or indirectly. Now, the direct way, it means you deal with when you're dealing with it directly, the patient is, or the person is consciously aware of what you're doing. But the thing is, they can choose to reject you, or they can choose to stay closed with everything that you're saying. So they're asking you a question, and you're just simply answering it directly. Or the more
Dr. Mike?
powerful way of dealing with an
Dr.
objection
Mike,
in an indirect way. These indirect
Yes.
objection techniques
slide is
eliminate
paused.
and they allow you to go into the subconscious mind, where what happens is you're distracting their conscious mind so that you can enter the
The
subconscious
slide
mind,
is off, right?
Yeah, it was paused.
help reduce resistance. It's not hypnotism. You're not hypnotizing them. You're simply
Hold on.
you're simply reducing the resistance to using lipolite so that you can fully explain to them so that they can
Here we go.
understand what it is that you're presenting or that you have to offer to them.
Here we
And
go.
when you're dealing with an indirect objection,
you.
it never really hits them. You're bypassing that conscious awareness and you're dealing with it in a very subtle way.
You got direct and
Extremely
indirect
powerful
objections.
when you do it correctly. And there are three ways to handle it. The first is
So she's saying, when you're talking to someone, you're gonna run into the same objections in your patient over and over and over. It's gonna be pretty much a finite. So the first way you do is you list all the potential objections, and you then answer these objections in two separate ways. One of them is directly, that's a good question, and this is what we found in the past. Secondarily, a smarter, more deeper, more powerful way of answering people's objections. And she's about to offer you that right now. This is how to obliterate people's objections. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
with question and answer. Course of your presentation. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
During the course of your presentation, I want you to have two question and answer sessions. I know some doctors feel that they don't want to have, or some of the questions that patients ask are silly. You don't have to ask them, the audience. You can simply introduce your own questions. You can seed them with your own, these are the objections that you want to achieve, you want to deal with indirectly. So you can just simply say, hey, here's a question from Mary, who said that she's dieted before, but she put her weight back on again. So you seed it with a question from a patient from yesterday, 2 days ago. And then you can say, for any of you who feel this way, let me tell you that you're not alone. We have a lot of people who are using lipolite who've experienced ups and downs in their weight loss before. Lipolite allows us to target specific areas and shrink fat cells. It accelerates the process of weight loss, and you see the results much sooner with less effort. Or you can infer other questions about affordability. You say something like, well, yesterday a patient, Kathy, asked me how she can pay for it. And I told her we have several options that make it very affordable, which we can discuss later. Second way to deal with your patient's objections indirectly is through stories. Stories are powerful things happen when people hear stories. What happens is their conscious mind shuts down all forms of resistance. you can tell them a story about a LipoLite user's experience and how they were hesitant at first, but how they're so happy about the results they're achieving now. I mean, you, as chiropractors, we have, I'm in our practice almost 28 years. I have a list, a laundry list of stories and patients and how they got well and how they avoided surgery. I'm sure you have a laundry list of those stories as well. And if you're using LipoLite for any length of time, at this point, doctors, you have stories. And that's when you start to interject. You're going to tell your audience a story, or if you're speaking with a patient on a one-to-one basis, and you explain them story. Or while you're treating a patient, you could just, they're on your table, you're adjusting them, you could tell them a story about a LipoLite success. Because they're a very powerful way of communicating. The third method of indirectly dealing with objections is to use testimonials. Now, I have a door of fame. I have a door on both sides. As you walk in and walk out, you see these smiling, happy patients, children, parents, families who are happy with the treatment and the care that they've been provided with at my office. You are now going to have a bulletin board of fame specifically for LipoLite, a wall of fame, an area of fame, an area that patients can pass by every day when they walk in, walk out of your practice. They can see these patients with smiling faces. And I want you to go to the photography store at Target. You're going to purchase these little labels that you put on photographs, like they have little funny sayings, except you get the blank ones. I want you to have your patients write out one-line testimonials with their photos, and then they put it onto the photo. Now, the thing is, I don't want your patient, you could put on the bulletin board a letter. That's always nice, maybe a postcard, something short. But my practice is in New York. We are, you have a second to capture their attention. So I came up with these photographs, these little things that we attach to them, and the patient in their own handwriting will put these one-sentence testimonials, such as, best thing I've ever done, would recommend to anyone, worth every cent, best money I've ever spent, don't wait, do it now, exceeded my expectations, saw results really fast. Now, you can imagine if you're seeing these groups of pictures with these little one-sentence testimonials, it's impactful. And it doesn't take any time at all. You can just pass in a glance, and they immediately get a feeling that these are very satisfied customers. The third, so there's three methods of indirect objections. We're going to handle them with questions and answers. Either you answer questions from the audience, or you seed it with your own questions. You're going to provide stories about success from LipoLite, and then you're going to give testimonials. And the testimonials, I like the wall of fame. I like somewhere they can visually see happy faces, or you could have a list of letters, postcards, anything with the patient's words. So your foundation of success. And I told you, doctor, we're going to build the foundation, and then we're going to put a foundation down, and we're going to build upon that. You're going to appeal to the 8 core human needs. People are naturally sluggish to make. We're then going to address their object directly, or more powerfully indirectly, like I've just recently gone through. And the third, and which is what I'm going to do right now, is you need to give them a reason to take action now. And this is so very, very important that you know how to do this properly. See, people are naturally sluggish to make decisions. If you have the ability to take action or not to take action, what do we usually choose? We're going to kick back and relax. We're not going to take an action unless we absolutely have to. That's for most of us. I don't mean to answer for everyone. So you have to make that reason to take action very compelling. And the more reasons you give them, the more successful you will be. You want to make it more important than just being on sale. I mean, people are used to just being on sale. Everywhere you turn, and particularly now it's the holidays, you put the radio on, you turn the TV on, you open up a newspaper, everything's on sale. JCPenney's, Macy's. Oh, we've just gotten to the point where I'm not going to buy it now. I'm going to wait until it's on sale. So you have to make it more important than that by creating a window of opportunity. And because every single day they wait, there's something that they're giving up. And you're going to see, you're going to go through your worksheets that we've provided at the end, that I'll provide at the end of this program. And you're going to write down the 8 needs of your patients in your general population. And you're going to go through your top 4 objections. And then you're going to sit down with your staff and you're going to create reasons why now is the time for them to take action. Because so you're setting yourself up for triumph. Now, doctors, this is the first half of the presentation, and we're now going to be going into the second half of the presentation. So I'm sure that if you have any questions, write them down now. We'll go through them, and I'll answer them fully at the very end of the presentation. Michael, do we have everyone can hear me properly?
My knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I just want to make sure, because the second half of this presentation is powerful. I mean, it takes everything that I simply discussed and just got to really tie it up in a nice bow for you. All right. So this is simply what I've discussed, and so far as, and this is not just for LipoLite doctors. This is really, if you're selling anything, whether it's chiropractic, we're addressing biological needs. We have objections. If you're a chiropractor for any length of time, you've heard every objection and you have an answer for it. You've dealt with it either through stories, you've dealt with it through, you've handled it indirectly in your own way. And now we're going to be going into the next phase of why now is the time to take action. Now, doctor, your primary objective of your presentation. Now, this primary objective is what you want your patient to realize. It is your single biggest job to make sure that everyone realizes this primary objective. And this is what people have to get. And when they get in quotation marks, it's going to increase your conversion and it's going to increase their action, them taking action. Your primary objective is everything. That's really what you want them to walk away with. And you need to repeat it again and again and again and again in all different forms. You're repeating it in pictures and auditorily and written form until you reach them, until they realize it from within themselves. So that at their core, they come to realize that no matter how many times they failed with weight loss, LipoLite is something new, it's different, and they can achieve results with it. Now, this is a primary objective that I came up with, but I felt that it was what I wanted my patients to feel. I want them to think that this is not like anything else they've ever heard of or have dealt with, and none of their friends are aware of this. I mean, they know of liposuction. LipoLite is simply the non-invasive liposuction, and they can contour and we can place it on critical key areas that are difficult to lose weight in. And they can achieve results with it. So as you can see, the Wall of Fame and having pictures in the office and all of these things just repeated again and again for your patients. So let's start with, here's your presentation. And you have 8 seconds to grab your patient's attention. And how do we grab that attention? With a statistic. So you want to captivate your audience so that they'll stay with you for the long haul by hitting them with, or by starting it with which is what I've provided a few of. Well, I provided a few statistics for you. Certainly, doctors, you can go online and look for others if this is if this you feel that there's other statistics you'd like to include, or maybe there's patients who already you've given this presentation, you want to include something different or new. However, I do feel that this is compelling that 2/3 of all American adults are overweight. And those are outrageous numbers. 1/3 of all adult Americans are obese. And there's, again, the U.S. industry is $75 billion a year, and $150 million was spent today alone on weight loss. If it's not these statistics, then certainly you can discuss health risk factors and how 2/3 of all Americans are overweight, adult Americans are overweight, and it increases their risk for diabetes and heart disease and arthritis and pregnancy complications and on and on and on. This sheet, as a matter of fact, I'm enclosing in your PDFs that you'll be provided with at the end of this program. I want you to make a copy of it for your patients so they can walk away and it can reinforce these reasons of why they need to consider weight loss. If you do this, doctor, and you present these statistics, I guarantee they will listen to your presentation differently, and they'll be following your every word, and you'll be developing trust with them. Next, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. You're going to give them 3 items of what you're going to cover. First, you're going to cover how LipoLite works and its amazing results as a non-invasive weight reducer. Don't worry, doctor, I have all of these on the PDF. You don't have to write all this down. So everything's going to be listed for you. And when you give your presentation, I don't want you to memorize this aspect. I'm going to tell you what you need to memorize. You're going to simply go with your heart and your soul. I want you to practice this so this way it's effective. But I want you to explain to them what you're going to tell them, and then you tell them. So I'm going to cover how LipoLite works and its amazing results as a non-invasive weight reducer. Second, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process and how we support your weight loss through the entire process. And then third, I'm going to explain the results you should expect and the inches you will lose. And now you're going to go through, you're taking through all 3 aspects. So for the first one, which is I'm going to cover how LipoLite works and its results, you'll go to Staples or Kinko's and have a poster made up of the fat cell shrinking. If you go onto the LipoLite website, you can download several photographs there or pictures. I think for like $20, $25 at Staples, you can have a nice, I think it's like 2 foot by 3 foot poster made up with, making these images very dramatic for them to see. I also want you to make a copy of it for their packet that they'll be taking home with them. Again, so this way they can show their friends, family, coworkers, and bosses and explain, and they'll be giving your presentation to their friends and family. And that's really what you want as well. The second aspect is I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process of how we're going to support your weight loss. You're going to explain to them for this second aspect how you're going to put them through an initial consultation, give them or provide them with a nutritional questionnaire. You're going to put them on an exercise protocol, and then you'll explain how how you're incorporating Dr. Singleton's Weight Loss for Life in 10 Easy Steps books. So their metabolism will be supported, their diet will be supported, their exercise. I mean, it's a whole encompassing. It's not simply putting on this machine into specific areas to shrink the fat cells, but that this is fully encompassing every aspect of weight loss. Okay. Now, the third portion of it, which is I'm going to explain the results you should expect and the inches you will lose. I like to have staff members take photographs every 2 weeks. Now, I know everyone has a different procedure. Maybe they'll do it once a month, but I feel that every 2 weeks I can then just throw it up into the computer and I have a whole slew of photographs in 4 different directions, anterior, posterior, and both lateral sides, to document their progress. I try to have them bring in shorts, something so that I can, so the photographs are a little bit more dramatic. So now this has taken you've explained all of this, how your staff is involved, how you're encompassing the whole aspect of their health, which of course is very chiropractic based. It's in its entirety. It's all natural. You're getting them on a good diet, good food. We're going to keep progress. You know, you're doing evaluations, and now you've explained all that, and now you have your first question and answer session. And again, you can either open it up to the audience, or you just say, oh, you know, by the way, yesterday a patient was asking me this question. And then you could just simply take it to address these objections indirectly. You know, how can I afford Lipolite? And I told her, and that's not a problem. We have several options that make it very affordable. Okay, all right. So to summarize, you go through the statistics, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell it to them, and then you start with your question and answer. The next step, you're going to summarize 3 benefits of Lipolite. And Lipolite allows you to see results quickly. Lipolite shrinks your fat cells in the targeted areas. Lipolite is reinforced and supported with myself and staff through nutrition and exercise. And now you tell a story. This helps to overcome another objection, another indirect objection. And this story simply is going to be something that you've already, and you and your staff already decided, which will help address those top 4 objections that you've gone through in prior meetings. And doctors, I know we have stories. I'm sure you have stories. A patient who's lost and gained weight through the years and their results of Lipolite. But the object of it is to tell a story to overcome those objections so that these patients or the people in the audience can identify with the person in your story. Statistics, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them you have a question and answer, you summarize the benefits, and now you're telling a story. Now we're getting into the good part. We're getting into the transition. And this transition is transitioning to your offer. And the words to that transition are, as I promised, I've got something special for you. In the course of this presentation, these are the words that I want you to memorize. I want you to remember them because they're really very powerful, and they'll give you and provide you with that confidence. So the full script is, as I promised, I've got something special for you. I'll be making a special offer to you today so you can receive the tremendous values I've explained about Lipolite. But I would suspect that whether you get this offer or not, you will receive many benefits from having attended this program. And the reason why I added that is because we don't want to slight anyone. And remember, everyone who's there, they're telling their friends and family and everyone that they meet, maybe a bus driver or the manicurist, and they're saying, listen, I went to this presentation and they were talking about this weight loss program, and they are now your ambassadors. You're educating them and they're going out. So there's no offense if they don't sign up. You're providing them with this information and then you're sending them out into the world so that they can go and tell other people. Now you make your offer, and the words are, and again, you're going to memorize this. Let me tell you what you're going to get when you sign up for Lipolite today. Again, doctors, I have this all on the PDF that you'll be receiving. Now you give them the big picture, and you explain to them what they're going to get. With all the benefits that they'll receive, and you want to, at this point now, you're selling the results. You want to tie it in with the 8 biologically hardwired needs, meaning that how it'll improve their self-esteem, how they'll be the envy of their friends, how their husbands, the husbands, you'll help them achieve their goals of weight loss. You want to now at this point you're selling the benefits, you're selling everything, but you want to don't forget to make it personal, make it it's going to provide security. You come up with your own means based upon your own community and those personal and individual needs that they have. Now, once you've explained the benefits, you're now going to have your first call to action. My assistant is waiting in the back, and she will be happy to sign you up to the benefits of Lipolite. This is your first call to action. You're going to have 3 calls to action. This is the first. See, again, remember, you want to explain to them why now is so important. Why now is the time that they should be making this investment. It's not enough, like I said before, that it's on sale. There needs to be bigger reasons. A need that creates an urgency. The more urgency you create, the better your conversion rate will be. So you create an urgency. Why now? Right? Now that you do this after the first call, you have patients, you may have 1 or 2 patients that then go into the back based upon everything you've said. The why now is broken up into 2 parts. Right? Part 1 is you want to convey to them that this is a limited offer for today only, for tonight only, and that it will resume its regular price tomorrow. And the second aspect of why now, it is, you see, it's something you have to create. There has to be a bigger reason. You don't want to just say, oh, it's on sale. You want to say, well, the economy is in a slump. So because the economy is in a slump, I'm providing this special bonus to you, or we're having a holiday special, or a new you for a new year special, something to help you jumpstart and help you attain your goals and reach, those desires. And we're going to make this 2013 the year that you finally reach that goal. You need to incorporate a bigger reason. Don't say, oh, we're having a sale today. Right? So when you combine this bigger reason with this limited time offer, it's very powerful. And now you pop in a testimonial. And I sometimes have a patient, I'll offer maybe a week of Lipolite treatments or a session or 2 sessions of Lipolite treatments, and I'll ask them, gee, you've had such success. Would you be willing if I offered you a Lipolite 1 or 2 sessions for free to speak at my next presentation? Or you can show before and after pictures of other clients, or you can read testimonial letters, however you choose to handle it. This is your opportunity to show your audience that yes, in fact, everything you've explained is absolutely 100% true, and that you stand by everything that you've said, and that it will work. You need to provide them with a guarantee. Basically, that's what your testimonial is doing as well. But your guarantee says a tremendous value. It says a lot about you as a person, about your office and your staff, that you guarantee that they will lose 3 inches or 4 inches, or whatever it is that you're telling them that they're going to lose. And you will stand by that. Now, let's say, for example, they don't reach that within the time period, for whatever reason, metabolism, whatever it is reason, then you will continue providing them with the Lipolite sessions until they do reach that target goal that you've promised. Then you have another call to action. My assistant is waiting in the back to sign you up to start your new life tomorrow. You're explaining the values that they'll be receiving to their overall health for themselves and for the family, and then it's incredibly valuable what you're offering for this price. What you're for this price and what you're offering. They have to do it today, because tomorrow all bets are off. Everything goes back to its regular price. Give them another testimonial. So you want to spread out your testimonials throughout the course and just seed it throughout the course of your presentation. And now you have a final price reduction. Again, using your bigger reason. Because of this new you, the new year for the new you, I want 2013 to be special for you. Or I want you to be able, or what we'll do is, just for this audience, we're going to have the second person pays half price, or they get 25% off. So you're getting a 2-for-1. You get you sign up and your friend signs up for half price. So just for this night, and if you leave the doors tonight, you're going to miss out on this wonderful opportunity. You can then add another bonus if they sign up now, such as an added week of lipolite sessions added to their length of treatment. I mean, obviously, doctor, you see what it is that I'm doing. You're just giving benefits, and you're adding it. You give a testimonial, you give another benefit, another bonus, and you're just compelling them. You're creating such a sense, it's like winding up a clock. You're giving them more and more and more reasons of why they can't walk out that signing up. And then you roll into your final call to action. Mary, my assistant Mary is waiting in the back to sign you up to start the next phase of your life. And with the support of my staff and myself and Lipolite, we will create amazing results for you. These steps are powerful, doctors, and I'm not saying that it's easy just to put it all together and mush it together, but I want you to practice them. I want you to think long term. I want you to make this your own, because this is the future. I want you to tap into that $75 billion industry a year, and you have all the tools to do it. You're bright, you're intelligent, you're respected in your community, you stand for everything that's holistic and natural, you're qualified to do this. You're always telling patients or providing them with some sort of exercise or nutritional recommendations. This is appropriate for you. This is going to take you to the next level. It'll help reach your goals, and it'll help others reach their goals as well. Right, so the second portion of this presentation, your transition to offer. You make your transition. You're going to create a call of urgency. Explain why now. Limited time offer with the holiday season or that second reason. You need to guarantee the results of inches lost. You add your bonuses. Just by signing up tonight, we're going to have an extra week or final price reduction, or a friend joins for half the price, or whatever it is, the reductions that you would like to provide. And then you just give them benefits. My staff, our experience here, we're in the community for so many years, we're well respected. You just pack it in with benefits. So to summarize your entire program, your entire presentation, you start off with a statistic. You grab their attention within the first 8 seconds. You then explain what you're going to go through. You explain it to them in detail then. You seed it with your questions, your question and answers, questions you may have heard before. You summarize Lipolite's benefits. You then tell a story. You have a patient come in and, you tell the story, and then you provide your transition. You transition as I've promised you. You then make your offer. Let me tell you what you're going to get when you sign up for Lipolite today. Right? Remember, I explained transition and offer. You would need to memorize those 2 paragraphs. You have your first call to action. You create now a sense of urgency. After that first call to action, limited time offer, bigger reason, you now have your testimonial. Patient stands up, provides a testimonial. You show photographs. You read a letter from a patient, anyone that may have sent you a letter. And now you have your final price reduction or bonus just for signing up. Like I explained, a free week, 2 free sessions, 3 free sessions, whatever it is you feel comfortable with. And then you have your final call to action. And hopefully at this point, everyone that's attended your presentation has stood up and has gone into the back and has signed up. Doctors, it has been absolutely my pleasure to provide this information for you. I want you to look forward to the PDFs that I'll be sending. If you received it last time, it's been upgraded and has been added to it. It takes a little time to get all this down, but start implementing it immediately. You only have yourself and your patients to benefit for it. And certainly any questions that you have, I'll be happy to answer them now. Remember, my name is Dr. Diane Renzulli. I've briefly written 3 books, but the one based upon this is Secrets to Understanding Human Behavior for Sales and Marketing. And you can go to my website at personalityblueprinting.com and order to purchase the books.
Okay, Augustine, you can stop recording. It's 4